I think the future does look hopeful, but that unfortunately doesn't take away from the fact that it's really challenging. You've lived this.
Yeah, day to day.
Yeah.
That's, sometimes when people say with the best will in the world, they're like, oh, maybe she'll grow out of it. And I feel like, yes,
thanks.
maybe that will happen, but that is not what I'm dealing with today. And so what you're kind of looking for in that moment is empathy and support with what you're dealing with.
And I think there's another really important point there, which is that it's sometimes a little too easy, and I think this is something we're in danger of as physicians, of getting carried away with the exciting stuff where we think we can do these wonderful things that, we usually have a sort of disproportionate sense of what we can do, and forget the really important basic stuff. Because managing food allergy is not about OIT. That is one aspect of it. The crucial stuff is still getting the diagnosis right, making sure that there's proper education around how you can protect your child, identify, treat reactions effectively. That will always be, the bread and butter basic stuff is always going to be the most important thing. And that wraparound that sometimes comes from specialist dietitians or the psychologists, or, sometimes just having a community that you're part of that means that you're getting properly supported with all of that is always going to be more important than sort of, the fancy stuff. And that should always come second. And it's really important to not get too focused. I think I'm saying this now to myself, to not forget the important stuff that has a bigger impact on quality of life. And I think actually for me, what I've learned is that sometimes one of the biggest impacts of food OIT is the interaction that happens on the regular visits that you get with the specialist nurses and the doctors, and the education that ends up, and the conversations that come from that mean that you feel so much more empowered in that extra degree of agency. And almost the fact that your child can now eat a few more peanuts than they previously could might actually not turn out to be that important, because you don't know what accidental exposures they're going to have. But spending time with people who, sort of get it and understand it is always of value.
Absolutely.
And I think for me, that's always been one of the challenges with these quality of life studies that are done about how much of an impact does food OIT have? Because how do you separate out, you certainly see this in research studies, the benefit to people's sort of sense of empowerment from just spending time with people that talk about allergies a lot, and meeting the other patients that are on the unit at the same time who have got shared experiences and their own sort of, tips and tricks of how they've managed things, and how much is from the actual treatment itself. And, I don't think we really know that.